Okay. So yesterday we have seen this example. We have created a procedure and we were not able to get the data with the user ID latest 1 to 3, right? So
Mm.
I went into the issue and I checked. So what happened is that in privilege there is one mistake that we have done. So yesterday itself I got to know that, but since we didn't have time yesterday, we were not able to see that. Okay, now we can see it. Let us go to the package latest. So we have created a privilege VP underscore pack, and in this privilege we have assigned the procedure, right? In the assign restriction tab. So in assign restriction tab, we did a mistake actually. Okay, the operator was given as in. Okay, the sorry operator was given as equal to, but equal to will not work for type catalog procedure. Okay, fixed can be used with equal to operator, but we have created a procedure which works with only operator in. Okay, we have to select in only for content for catalog procedure. So once I selected this catalog procedure and once I saved the changes in this analytical privilege, then I'm able to see the female data with the help of latest 1 to 3. Okay,
Raban, if
now
we are using procedure, we need to use in operator
yes,
whenever
we
you
should,
when
we should only use in
for all procedure.
for all procedures. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, but catalog procedure. Okay, since you are HANA, you might be database administrator, right? You are a database administrator. So yeah, but database administrator also will not create any procedures. Okay, the modelers. I hope you do not create any models, right, as part of your daily job, Nalbi.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, so you will not create any models, right? So there will be a developer who is responsible to create these models. So he will be creating these procedures, not you, and he will be
Mm.
knowing what all restrictions are that he needs to add here. Okay, so he will use it. Okay, okay. Let me show you now if we are able to access it or not. Let's go to data preview here. Cannot get the data. Project is not shared. Let's close everything. Okay, let's close this. Okay, so the data preview is open. I'll select the attribute. I'll select the name and gender. Okay, I'm able to see the data with only the female as per the restriction. Okay, so the same thing I can always modify the authorization table itself. Okay, the authorization table I can either modify the authorization table. Yeah, of course, I can only modify the authorization table. What is stored in the authorization table? In authorization table, you will have your user ID. Let me show you the table. Sorry, here is our schema. This is our schema. In the schema, you will have the tables. In tables, you will see the authorization table that we have created. Yeah.
System is the master schema, no?
Sorry,
I mean, system is the parent.
there is no parent and child
All
concept
all
here.
all all schema are available in the system.
Yeah, you can say that, but it is not available in the system schema. It is available in the sys underscore BI and sys underscore BI schemas. Only read access will be granted by giving this sys underscore BA and sys underscore BS. Okay, these two are responsible. So whenever we are creating any new user, we should always make sure that these two schemas access is given with select access, so that they can read whatever data is created under these schemas.
Okay.
Okay, please be attentive and be starting our roles concept today. So why do we need roles? So let us say if we are creating a new user, Let us say we have created a user called latest123 recently, right? If you remember. So what we have done, we have assigned privileges to the user. So let us see what kind of privileges we have assigned to this user, so that for our understanding. Let us go to users and let us see latest123 is our user ID which we have created. So what is there in latest 123? In latest 123, what kind of privileges we have added? Since this public role we have not added it. This public role, excuse me, this public role has come automatically. Okay, this is assigned by the system to grant you basic access. Okay, and the read access in the system. This public is common scheme, common role which is added. And coming to system privileges, we have not added any system privileges. And coming to object privileges, we have added sys underscore bi, bic, latest 123, and repository underscore rest for various purposes. Okay, like sys underscore bi and bic is a mandatory schema which needs to be added to any user with select access in order to give him access to read any data under sys underscore bi and bic. And similarly, we have assigned latest schema so that the user will be able to access the latest and latest 123. Repository and underscore rest is a procedure. Okay, it is also a procedure. Repository and rest is a mandatory procedure which needs to be added as a catalog object in order to give you access to the content folder. Unless and until you assign this access, you will not be able to give, sorry, you will not be able to access anything under the content folder. The repository underscore rest will be given with access execute. Privilege execute. Okay, analytical privileges, we have created an analytical privilege, so we have assigned it. So package privilege also we have assigned latest. Okay, application privileges anyways it is not created by us, it is created by even analytical privilege also is not created. Anything most of them are not created by us. But what does the security team do? Like see, like you are assigning privileges, multiple privileges to user manually or individually. Is it right? No. So what should be the right procedure? The right procedure should be we have to create a role, and this role should contain all the privileges that we are assigning now at one go. Okay. Simply you have to assign this role to the user, and the role a user should be able to access everything that he needs. Okay. Let us see how to create a role. So there are two types of roles. One is a local role, and one role is a repository role. Like local role, whatever local role you are going to create, you cannot import that role from one system to another system. Sorry, you cannot export that role from one system to another system. Okay, so the repository role is created in a different manner. So for repository role, there are two ways that you can create this role. You can either create it in the HANA Studio using SQL, but it's a bit complex. So SAP itself has given you an easy solution called IDE, which I'll be showing you in this session. So once you go into IDE and once you create this repository role, you'll be ready to move this role from one system to another system. Okay, so there are two types of roles. Now the role which I'm going to create is a local role. This role cannot be imported from one system to another system. Okay, let me give some random name. Z test role 1. Okay, that will be my random name. I'm going to select the schema which goes under this. Okay, before that, let me create a schema called security so that I can use it. Okay, if you remember, Nelby, you can tell me what is the schema that we need to use. Sorry, what is what is the query to create a schema?
Create type. Hmm.
Create schema security is your query. Okay, we have successfully created a schema called security, which you can access. You can refresh this, and you will be able to see that schema.
We cannot right click the catalog and create
You cannot
schema.
create you cannot right click on a system and you cannot create a schema. Schema has to be created with a query.
It needs to be
Yeah,
in
now we
SQL.
got security. Sorry. Yeah, you should create the schema only in SQL. You'll not be able to create it manually. Okay. So schema is created. Let me go to the previous tab. I'll select the schema as security. I'm using it. I'm using the schema security. What I'm going to do? Okay. If I want to add any standard roles, I can do it. I can go ahead and I can add any standard roles that I want. But I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'm going to uh, assign the privileges that we have assigned recently to latest 1 to 3. I'm going to assign the same privileges to latest 1 to 3, and let us assign the same role to some other test user ID and test, and let us see if he is able to get the access or not. So that we'll be able to understand. So what all are assigned? Object privileges sysbi, sysbic are assigned to this user. Let us assign the same thing. Usually this system is a bit slow, but in real time the system is very fast. It's not as this is very slow. Okay. Okay. These two schemas I'm going to select sys underscore bi, sys underscore bic. At the same time, I'm going to give latest 1 to 3 and repository rest. Okay. You should also select what you're going to do with this. I'm going to give select and execute SSPI, SSBIC also I'm going to go select and execute. Okay, repository underscore rest is another good concept here. Repository underscore rest. Okay, I'll give execute. I'll give latest and latest 1 to 3 schemas also. I'll do the same privileges. Select and execute. Select and execute. And I'm going to give you another privilege latest 3. Okay, I've selected this privilege. Now I'll select execute and select. Okay, all privileges, object privileges have assigned. Let me assign the same analytical privilege, which is AP underscore pack. I think so. Yeah, so AP underscore pack. I'll assign to this user. Is already there. AP underscore pack. Never assign SysPI all until and unless it is an admin user. Let us say you are giving access to a BI developer. Okay, or modeler. You should always give this only. You should not give the limited privileges. We have to give all the analytical privilege access. This is all privilege access. I'm going to give only AP underscore pack. Okay, now the role is ready. Package privilege, I'm going to assign it as latest with repo read. Oh, my God. Once again, we have this package issue, I think so. Once again, redirect us to root, which shouldn't happen in the ideal scenario. Okay, for now I do root package. I don't want to stop this class for all this nonsense. Let me give root package only. But some repository issue is going on in this system in the training server. So you might ask me like who is going to fix these issues? So your basis admin is going to fix those issues, not us. Okay, I'm going to go report it. Okay, and I'm going to execute. So our role is created. Our role is Z test role. Okay, could not grant execute privilege on syspi role. Test role does not exist. So it is basically saying that you are not authorized to assign any analytical privilege or any object privilege to a role. So basically, to assign these privileges, you should also have some access with you. Okay, I'll show you what access you might need. So what access you might need. So let us see what roles are assigned to your system user ID. Usually, system user ID has everything, but unfortunately, this system is like that. So let me show you. Assign everything that way. Thought of doing it earlier, but I don't know if it will allow me to assign everything. But see, our role is created, but the thing is that it will not give us any privileges there. Roles I have given, system privileges, I think so. I have everything. So I cannot assign this privilege to any role or user. Okay, it is marked as this thing, but I should be able to do it. But okay, no, this should come from a role only. It will not. Of course, it will not allow. Let us do one thing. Let us create a user ID. Let us use Nalbi's user ID. Yes. That's fine. Almost all roles are assigned. Usually, this role should not be assigned, so that is why it is creating an issue. Okay, fine. So let me log in as user NLB and let us try to add. Okay, NLB is already there. So we have recently created a role. Let's go and see if we are able to assign these schemas now to a role. Earlier we didn't have the access to assign it, but now we should.
You assigned all privilege to the security schema.
We have tried to assign latest and repository. Along with that, we tried to assign sys underscore bi and sys underscore bic, which are the mandatory schemas. but we didn't have the right privileges to assign this access to a role. We have the privilege to assign this sys underscore bi and bic to a user, but in order to assign it to a role, we should have some special privileges. So we have assigned all the privileges to the admin user, which is you. This is your user ID. LP. So let us try. Okay, sys underscore bi and sys. This is not grant privilege by what happened. Hold does not exist. I think there is some issue. So what happens is that basically, like we don't know, we do not create these roles locally. Okay, we only create these roles in IDE. Let me show you. Okay, this is HANA IDE security, which will give you access to the security tab. But let us go to editor. If you go to HANA editor, hmm, so this is our IDE. Okay, so the URL is okay. Forget about the URL. I'll give you these URLs. It's not a big issue. It is basically ID. If you have this is your host name. As for HANA DB is your host name, and along with the host name, you'll have the instance number. So if you give this instance number along with SAP HANA ID editor, you'll be able to access the web ID. So I was creating this role, okay, earlier. This role design, I was creating 0 100 actually. I have created a schema in content folder of the name security. I've created a package under the content folder of the name security, and I was about to create this role 0 100 under the I was creating this role, this package, which is role design. Under this role design, I was creating a Z role, which is 0 100. Okay, so the repository role will naming convention will start this way. Okay, you will have the package name followed by double columns followed by your role name, which is 0 100. Okay, here you'll be able to assign everything which you are doing it in your local as HANA Studio. Okay, so the only difference is that so whatever roles you create here we will not be able to import these roles. Okay, will not be able to import these roles since this role will not be assigned to any package. Clear? We since okay we have created some schema, but still what we have done, we have right clicked on these roles and we have created a new role, but this role is not assigned to any schema. Okay, so for that reason what happens, you will not be able to okay, even though you might see that I have while creating this role it asked me a schema name. I've given the schema name, but that schema will not be able to will not be able to import that schema from one system to another system. Okay, because it is a runtime schema. Runtime schemas cannot be imported, runtime objects cannot be imported. Okay, so the objects created as a repository object only can be imported from one system to another system. Okay, I was trying to create some roles. Let us see. Let me give some random roles, random SAP roles. Let me give content admin, or I want to create a user admin role. Or let me search for it. User. Okay, sorry. We have the user admin role basically. In system privileges, okay, I have assigned already. Okay, adapter admin, user admin, and agent admin I have already assigned. Okay. In object privileges, what I have assigned, same thing. Repository sys underscore bi and sys underscore bic with all the privileges. See, and analytical privilege. Okay, I have not assigned any analytical privilege. If I want, I can assign this analytical privilege also. It will not stop me. Okay, whatever analytical privilege we have created, we can assign. Just suppose we have assigned AP underscore crack in our recent session. Let me assign it. Package privilege. Let us assign latest. See, in backend there was some issue. Okay, that is why it is not letting us to create any role. But this web IDE is always safe. Okay, it will not. It will have less issues. But the only difference is that there are some inconsistencies in this training server. Okay, like now I'm not able to like check the package here. If let us say if I have to assign the package latest here, it is redirecting me to root package. So that means that there is some issue here. Okay, there is some issue going on with this thing. Okay, now it is good. I think so. Now it got fixed. Okay, but still it is not allowing me to do it. Okay, let me try to do the same thing here. Let me assign latest. Usually, it is always suggestible to create the roles, non-local roles. Okay, these are non-local roles. These are repository roles. Always create repository roles only in the real time. Never create roles which cannot be transported from one system to another system, because the concept of security concept will itself fail. So this is the save button. Okay, the role is saved and it is successfully activated. See. There are no issues in assigning a package privilege or an analytical privilege or the object privileges. Okay, systems for BI we have assigned, BIC we have assigned with all the necessary privileges that we want. Okay, and the role is activated successfully. If you want to add anything else, you're always free to do it. Like let us say if you want to add latest one to three is that right? Instead of selecting all, if you select a schema, like I'm trying to assign a schema object, so I'll select schema. Otherwise, it will give you every data which is not needed for you basically. I click on OK, and what I want to give the schema, I'll give select under secure. And I want to add one more schema, which is latest 123. Latest 123. Type is schema. Okay, it came. Luckily, there is no schema, no other schema with latest 123. That's why you got it. But it is always feasible to select the schema. And obviously, the repository underscore rest is a procedure type, procedure object, which is already assigned. Let me save it. Some issue has come. See, error while activating HANA-DB role. Insufficient privilege. Detailed info for this error can be found with so and so. It is saying that we have some insufficient privilege to assign uh, these things. Okay, let us see what happens. Let us close it and let's see what privileges are being added here. Let us expand the package role design and let us access our role which is created. Okay, but I see that the privileges are also already added. You can ignore this. All the privileges are added. Okay, analytical privileges are added, package privileges are added. Okay, everything looks good. So now let us go. Let us create a user. And let us try to assign this access to that user. Okay, I've given the password. Now I'll assign the role which we have created. What is the role which we have created? Is the role design the 0 100. Okay, the role design 0. Okay, I have assigned this role. Okay, so no privileges are assigned explicitly. Okay, all the privileges will come with this role only. Okay, whatever changes or whatever additional access you want to give, you have to edit the role and you have to assign it to the user. Let's see. User is created, okay, with test role access. And he'll have his common privilege, which is created by default, which is test role. Okay, and he'll not have, see, he is not having any privilege. That means he has the privileges, but that access will come from the role only. You're not supposed to assign any privilege explicitly until and unless it is very urgent. There are some scenarios in production system you might need a privilege, which is very urgent and you cannot wait for the role transfer from one system to another system. In such instances, you can do this, okay, but it is not recommended. Okay, so we have the role assigned. Let us log in with this test role and let us see test role user ID and let's see what happens. This test role user test underscore role. Welcome 3. Okay, I have created that user. There is this test role. Let me see the content. I'm able to see the content like because I have assigned in let's see what in package privilege I've assigned everything. So that's the reason why I'm able to see everything. But in ideal scenario, you will not assign everything to the user. You'll only assign the package, right? Package privilege to the user. Okay. Let me try to assign. Let me try to check. What is our latest? Okay. So this is the view which we have created. Let us see if we are able to access it or not. Okay, so I have created a test role. I assigned all the privileges that are needed for this test role, and I am able to access the data that we like that we wanted to see. Okay, I am able to see the data. Fine. So that's it, guys. So this is about your repository role creation. So for repository role creation, you have to create a package under the content folder. Okay, in the content folder, you're going to have the package. Under the package, you're going to create the role, and you can assign all the privileges that are needed for your user. But the basic privileges are always the same, guys. Repository syspic syspic is the mandatory privilege, and whatever analytical privilege you want to assign to the user, you can assign it. If you have created any analytical privilege, you should assign them. And package privilege also, it depends actually what packages the user might need access. And the system privileges actually varies. Okay, system privileges is up to you basically. So what kind of access you want to give? Suppose you want to create a user as a workflow admin user or a workload analyzer admin user. I have created a user admin, so I have assigned user admin. Okay, I have assigned adapter admin and agent admin, so that I'll be able to create users in the system. So similarly, if you want to create some role admin user who is responsible for creating roles, I'll give access to role admin. Okay, for BI users, I'm going to give every role, standard role, which is marked as repo here. So repo, who is going to do the reporting activities, basically the reporting developer. So he needs all this access. So monitor admin, who is going to get the monitor admin access? The auditor. Log admin, who wants to check the log, or license admin, or log, or LDAP connection, who wants to check the LDAP connection, basis guy. So he'll get the basis, he'll get the LDAP thing. Who wants to do import and export? Almost everybody needs import and export access. Why? Like suppose if there is a package that has to be, if there is a now let us say a runtime package you have. So runtime packages cannot be imported. So what you need to do, if you want to have that package from one system to another system, you need to export that package and you need to import that package. I'll show you this. So for that you need these privileges. So similarly, for each and every action that you want to commit in the system, you have sufficient privileges that are given by SAP. Only thing is that you should never assign these privileges directly to the user. You should always go with the roles concept. You have to create a role, just like I created now, and you have to assign the access to the user. Simple. So I have assigned only the package latest, but what happened? I have assigned some additional privileges like agent admin and adapter admin. So what happened because of this is that I've got elevated access. Okay, if I'm not adding these privileges, it will obviously show me error, because in HANA authorization table, what I did in HANA authorization table, I did not add this new user test underscore role. Okay, and I have not added what kind of data he needs to see in that authorization table. Okay, but still it is showing me the access. Why? Because I got a wider access because of the system privilege. So always be careful. Okay, if you are giving higher access, okay, let us say if you are giving such wider access to the user, you will not be, obviously you will not be able to restrict anything with this analytical privilege. Okay, without this analytical privilege also, user will obviously be able to access any data because he is meant to, right? If he has additional access. So this is the repository role. Okay, local role, anyways, you will not create it. Okay, it's waste of time actually. This system is inconsistent, but in real time, you'll be able to create a role locally, but it is of no use if you're not able to transport it. Because in development, let us say if you have to create in each system, it is not feasible. And also, your auditor and whichever company is auditing your system, like you have to follow some compliance rules as per the standards. You'll call it SOX compliance or ISO standards. Okay, you need to follow it as a company. So as per these standards, you should not create anything directly in the quality system or production system. So it will give you, like the auditing company will give you a certificate saying that okay, this company is this company is complying with the process or with the standards. If you are not following these standards, it will obviously say that okay, this company is not following these standards because of so and so reason. So your company never wants that, right? So your company will always follow the standards. So what are the standards that we need to follow? So nothing has to be changed in the production system or the quality system directly. Every change should come with the transport. Okay, so that is why transport is important here. Okay, now we have completed the roles concept. When it comes to the transport concept, okay, let me give you an example. We have created a schema here, basically. Let us select a schema called latest. We have created this latest schema. Okay, in latest schema, what we have done, we have created some tables. Okay, based on these tables, what we have done, we have created some views on package latest. Okay, so for latest package, what is the prerequisite? The for latest package, the prerequisite is the latest schema. So both needs to be imported into the other system if you want them to work, right? So what you are going to do, for now we only have one system, guys, which is HDB. I'll ask if there is any possibility to create another system so that we can see how we are going to transport. But without that also we can understand the concept. It is not a big thing. Like in the real time scenario, mm, you'll have the systems like this. Okay, you'll have dev, quality, and production. Okay, let us say now you have HDB. Okay, but in the real time, you'll have something called PDB, QDB, and DDB, which P stands for production, Q stands for quality, and D stands for your development system. Okay, now you don't have the such privilege here in the test server because nothing is created as of now. I can ask the admin to create it, and in the next class we can see, okay, how we are going to transport it. But I'll tell you the whole concept behind it. Okay. So yeah, you need to transport this package, right? So what you're going to do, you're going to basically right click on latest. You'll get an option called export. So you want to export it to another system, right? You do not want to import something into your own system. Click on export. Okay, so the package is already selected because I directly clicked on the package latest. If you are suppose you are selecting anything on the catalog, it might ask you to search in the filter, but I directly selected the pack schema itself. Okay, I'll click on next. Here we have all the options. If you want to like import the catalog objects on the server, you can do this, but we never do it. Okay, we import the objects as a current client. The parallel threads is always one, and you can give some directory. I'll go to desktop. If there is some folder created, or if it is not created, I'm going to create a new folder here. New folder. I'll name it as schemas, and I'll select this folder for our export. Okay, I finished. I finished exporting. So once I've finished exporting, you can go to schemas and you can see the exported schema here. You have the index and export thing. Okay. In export you have everything. In index you will have the latest thing. Okay. What you can do now, you can use this schema for importing. So I'll go to the source. This is the source system. Okay. I'll go to the target system. Let us say you have another system. This is the same system, but imagine that this is another system. Okay. You can right click on this. Sorry. You can right click on catalog and you can click on import. Okay, import catalog from current client, and you can browse, go to desktop, select schemas, select folder, and click on next, and you will see all the data under this schema, which is all the table data and all the table and all the relevant data that is under the schema. You select everything, add it, and click on next. It will give us some error. Okay, usually, if you want to replace existing catalog objects, you can do it. I'll click on it and click on finish. It is done. Okay, so that is how you basically export and import from one system to another system, whether it is a role or whether it is a catalog or whether it is a package. It is the same procedure. Okay, this is one way of doing it. This is the manual process, and manual process is not entertaining your organization. Okay, you should never do it manually until and unless it is very urgent and you get approval from your compliance team. You're not going to do it. Okay, because this is very critical for the company. You shouldn't bypass the compliance rules. Okay, if people are doing in such a way, then there is no control. Like let us say Nelby has created some X package and he has imported it to quality. I have a similar package with the same name in the quality system, and it gets overwritten. Who is responsible for that? You are responsible. If you are moving it with the transport. Okay, whoever is moving the transport, like you will not obviously, like there is some SOD concept called SOD, segregation of duty. Like the same person cannot do the entire process. Okay, if
But
suppose I'm
Shravan, this security consultant will move this, or the transport team will move this, the
basis
developers?
consultant, usually there will be two people here. Okay, what
So we will
happens?
only create, we will only do the export, right?
You will only
So
create a transport in an idle scenario. Okay, you will not export. Yeah, exactly. You will only export, and some other person is going to import it into the target system or the
correct,
source.
yes. So
Yeah, target.
the import, whoever is going to do the import, they will take the approval from the compliance, correct?
It depends actually, Saurabh. Yeah, whoever is going to export should also take the approval, and before importing, the person who is responsible for importing it will basically check if all the approvals are in place or not. Like let us say in my organization, what they are doing is that we have a tool called Jira, which will monitor all this process. Okay,
Correct, the
whatever
ticketing
role
tool.
I'm creating, exactly. Jira is a ticketing tool, and in this ticketing tool you will have something called user story created in it. In this user story you'll give all the like all the data that you have done, like what role you have created, and let us say this role like this role will be reviewed by some complaints approver in the same task. Like we'll have subtasks in Jira user story, so you'll have all the approvals in place in this Jira subtask. So, and once this Jira user story is approved, there is something called a smart sheet, which is another application which is used to track these user stories along with the approvals. So your the admin who is responsible to import these user stories, sorry, to import this transport or to import the data into the target system will basically go there and he'll review it, and he'll get to know basically if you have the right approvals or not, and he'll simply upload into the system. Okay, he'll not take any approvals. So that is one process, but the process is always defined by your company, so it might vary from organization to organization. Okay, in my organization this is the process that we are following. In my previous organization they used to use a tool called ServiceNow, in which everything used to be automated, like there is no manual approval needed. Okay, so once you initiate the process, like once you initiate the transporting process, the ServiceNow ticket will automatically route the approvals to your approver, and once the approver approves the ticket, automatically this ticket will be assigned to your basis admin, or the admin who is responsible to import these changes to the target system. And once he is assigned with this ticket, he'll simply go ahead with uploading this data into your target system. So that is one
Understood.
process. It varies actually. You cannot say that there is a fixed process here. Based on your complaints, based on your complaints, or based on your organization policy, it might vary. And in some companies, it can also be a situation where you don't have many personnel who can do this, right? Let us say you are the only admin. Like let us say NLB is there. NLB is the security admin. NLB is the HANA DB. NLB is the modeler. NLB is everything in your company. So in such cases, you cannot restrict it to NLB, right? Because you only have one person in your organization. So SOD will not work in such scenarios. So you should have multiple people for SOD scenarios to work. Okay,
Okay.
as simple as that. So that is the process. Okay. Okay. What else I wanted to show you? I'll quickly go ahead with the transport process. Okay. Export and import is one of the transport process that we have, which is not reliable. Okay, never do it. Export and import, never do it. We have ALM basically. Okay, in ALM, we have native transport, which is the standard transport that we are going to use. And CTS, change and transport system, is another option which is available. But for CTS, you need to have expertise on Solution Manager, SAP Solution Manager, which is a tool provided by SAP.
SAP, yeah.
Basically, this tool is responsible for transport mechanisms. Okay, this tool can be configured with any SAP solution which is provided, with any SAP application which is provided, and this tool will be responsible for all the transports. Basically, what this tool, like there are many advantages with the Solman tool. Basically, it's a different topic, but Solman tool, what it does, it is used for the transport TR dependencies. Let us say Nelby and I want to import the same package. Like we have done the changes, like Nelby has done some other changes to the package. I have done some different changes to the package. And let us say if we want to move the same package to the quality system. Okay, usually what happens, usually whoever is moving the TRs, like whoever is responsible to move these TRs, the basis team or whatever team is responsible, has to check, like okay, there are two TRs, identical TRs. Like he has to go back and he has to confirm with the team, asking, okay, what is the TR which has to go first, and he has to make sure that the other TR shouldn't override the changes which are done by NLB. Okay, suppose let us say if NLB's TR is moving first into the quality system, and my TR is moving next. So we shouldn't be like my changes should not override changes of NLB. Basically, it should be the same. So what the basis admin does is that the basis admin will basically connect with NLB and me, and he'll be basically checking if what changes are done, and if if there can be, like if he can determine any TR sequence, like which TR should move first into the quality system. Okay, so CTS will do this job autonomously. Okay, there is no manual intervention. If let us say if you are going manually, you might miss these TRs. Okay, you might not. There is always a chance that you might miss that there is there is a TR with the same package in it. Okay, the basis admin will not always go into the detail, like he'll not go into the TR and he'll not check what packages are there. He'll simply get a ticket in service now, and once it is approved, and once it is in his bucket, he'll simply complete everything. Okay, so That is the thing.